Hi, I'm back. I'm Jill with Copycat Crafts by Jill, and I was hoping to get this done in this video, but as it turns out, I have a few uh, tips or other things, and I just thought on trying instead of trying to squeeze everything into one video, uh, I'll just go ahead and make two videos. So that's what I'm going to do. Um, so the first thing I want to share is, of course, everyone has heard my whining about not being able to put a hole in the center of the closures that we do, like this. And I've tried everything, putting X's and, spending a half hour erasing afterwards and just guesstimating, and it usually goes pretty wrong. Um, and a subscriber wrote in a tip. Sir Cayman, this is the subscriber that actually wrote in a helpful tip. I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure this is not something I came up with or anything like that. As a matter of fact, it's kind of one of those forehead slapping moments where you think, really, really, I've been struggling with this. And to me, this is one of the best ways around it. And it is, I went through my button stash, which I have like a 10-pound bag of buttons, and I found a button that matches my uh, paper punch hole. And it fits, for me, this one I like because the paper fits right in like it was meant to be. And now this one has 4 holes. I found this button. Of course, all buttons have 2 or 4, um, but that's fine. This one also has the ridge, so I can put my hole in there. My paper punch. And what I do is I just flip it around. I mark inside both holes. Oh, I did on the black side. Well, you won't see it there. Okay, mark inside both holes. Then I can just put my dot in the center. I don't know if you can see the 2 holes I made. Then I can put my hole, or mark rather, in the center of those 2 holes, and I know that that would be center. And since I have 2 paper punches, I had to find a button that would work for my smaller ones, and I found one. This one again has 4. I do like the 2 a little better. I was trying to find a so I can either fit it in there like that, or I found this one that does only have the 2. It's black, I'll do it like that. So I can put it like that. I'll have to turn it around if I want to make the marks though. So it's in there. Turn it around like that and do the same thing. Mark the 2 holes. And then I just put a little mark right between the 2 holes, and I know I have center. Now, I found, let's see, what did I do with it? For me and my eyesight, as long as I find using a little purple pen or a little black pen and just putting a little darker mark in there. But the other thing I found out while I've been doing this is on on all mine, and I have pretty many of these. I have them in different sizes. Now, most people just use their We Are Memory Keepers crocodile and all that. And I do. I have the big one and the hand one. For making holes, I do like them, but these are easier for me to use. But I always had to be trying to look in between there to see that I'm actually getting on my mark. What I did was I pulled off the bottom part that catches all your little punch outs. These were on the bottom, and I pulled these off. So now I actually have a hole through there that I can see. So now I can put this in there and actually see my little blue mark. Now I can punch and get the hole in the center. What? I think I literally did slap my forehead, but I just wanted to share that. Thank you, Sir Cayman. I will be using that. So between that and pulling off all my guards, all these had the guards on the bottom to catch the punch out piece. I will gladly sweep off the punch out pieces and not use the guard. I used to be happy for the guard, but glad that I don't have to worry about that no more. Okay, so that was one or two things. The other things are I did do a little bit of work ahead over here. I just did this, and then those are rub-ons, and I glued down this little double ticket, glued that down. I made this, and let me show you how I made it and then what it is. I just took 2 of these die cuts, and you could take any shape as long as it's about this size. It has to fit in this spine area. And I glued them together like that. Then I inked them. Then I took a little bit of elastic. Sorry, couldn't think of it. Took a little bit of elastic, and I just glued it from the back around the front and to the back again, so they met in the back. Glued that down, made sure it was really glued well. I did ink the elastic. And then when I was sure that was absolutely glued really well, I didn't actually mean to, I just got carried away, I was in the zone, and I glued it down. I glued it down. You could glue it down pretty much wherever you want it. But the reason I did that was because I plan to put a pencil in here. I actually wanted a shorter one, but I wanted it brand new. And I can either try and make a shorter one brand new by cutting off a long one, but that's what it's for. And I just wanted to show you it holds it. It's not falling out anywhere. You don't have to have elastic. You can use something, a piece of material or something, but with the elastic you do have a little bit of a choice if I wanted to try and do a pen, or I have a little bit of give. So I just went for the elastic, and it's not the thinnest or anything. It's I'll actually get it. I had this really thin elastic, which I use a lot of. This is the next size up, actually, but I still got it at Walmart for about the same price. So wanted to just show you how I made that, because I love when I put a journaling pad or notepad in a folio. I love to include a pen or pencil. I just think what's good is having the pad if you don't have a pen or pencil. So added that. Oh, the other thing before I get too far that I added because I just started, like I was really getting somewhere. I don't know. I added this little tab. So I glued in. Sometimes I glue them in, sometimes I don't, but I glued that in. So this is glued in, this is glued in, and I glued that on. Okay, so they're all cut up there. Then put in our pencil. Then over here, we have this I did not glue in, is I wanted to put 2 tabs in and have them be kind of like this, or vice versa, like this. One on each side, because this is a big pocket. So I wanted a tab like on each side, but I wanted the tabs very kind of like this. So it won't get perfect till we glue them in. All of these are made from the same sandable paper that match everything else I use. So I dug these out, and that's what I'm going to use. Like I said, that's actually the big pocket. But to open it, I think easily, I kind of like having the tabs on it. So just trying to decide. I mean, obviously it doesn't have to be, but it'd be something like that. I think that's pretty close. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put glue here. I like to, just going to leave this one where it is, hoping I can. All right. I'm just going to put glue on the tab part, well, on the bottom part of the tab, because I always glue that down first. Or so in this case, I'm going to go up and under like this, kind of right there. Don't quite want it peeking out. Want it like that. So now I can glue up this side. Put a little extra right along the right where it meets the road meets the rubber. There we go. It's one. Then this one, just gonna flip it, glue, top part, or the inside I should say, slide it inside. Like So yep, like that. Now we'll glue this down. Okay. Let's put it on the tablet side so we can push it down good. Okay, so now we have an easy opening, so we're not trying to constantly do that. It just opens now. I like that. Okay, I think that's so far that's all we did here. I'll probably put in a little something, but for now, just gonna close this. And I did find Tracy's video on how she makes her closures, and I did go back and link it in my last video, and if I can remember, I'll link it, I'll relink it again, just so you know how you can make these ahead. And if you make them neutral, like I do with these papers, if you make them neutral, you can make these up and just put them aside. She uses this on both sides, so yeah, you could make 100 of these and use one on each side like that and put your string like that, which is what she does. I love the look when you use something different to hold the string, but I do it both ways. Both ways are wonderful. Okay, this was a blank slate. This is actually our cover. So I thought I would glue this down, and I purposely made it a hair shorter on both ends. And then this, they both have a hinge. This one does not have any spine. It's just a hinge. This one, the hinge, it does have a little bit of a spine. That's only just to give it a little bit of movement for when you have something, you know, puffier pockets and stuff underneath it. But this one's going to go like this. This one will go, and this one's way smaller on purpose, but this one's going to come up and go like this. Then after we have that in, I made this. This is going to go over here. Once I have everything in where I want it, this is going to be my closure. How did I make this? I just cut a strip of this out of the paper. There's the paper, and I just cut the strip out. I rounded 2 corners. Then I put in the hole protectors on top. You can't see them because this is the same size as the hole reinforcer, but there's a hole reinforcer under this. The interesting part is on the back this is Tyvek paper. What is Tyvek paper for the newer people? Tyvek paper is the paper, and here's how you spell it: Tyvek, Tyvek. You can buy Tyvek paper, but if you receive an envelope from the United States Postal Service with you bought something and they put it in a Tyvek envelope like this, this will last me almost a lifetime. So I just cut this up. This is what I use, and I cut it in little pieces. Here's a tiny piece. I even keep some of them. And this stuff is like impossible to rip. So I use this, again, I use these in a lot of spines and places where I'm going to be bending the paper a lot. But I used it on the back here. And because it is so silicone-y, almost like slippery, I use double-sided tape. I use a piece of double-sided tape, then a little bit of glue, and I put this down. Now, between this and on this side, we do have the hole reinforcer under my little knob here. So then I double tape and glued this down. Put the hole reinforcer and my little knob, or whatever these are called, who knows. They're for on the back of picture frames and stuff, or you may see them mainly on the back of pictures. I don't know, little things. I just got them on Amazon, and this is a little less than 3/4 of an inch, but it's a little bigger than a 1/2 inch. You can get them in different sizes, but I like this size. And then I took my hole punch and punched a hole through. It's really hard to punch a hole through it with a pokey tool without creasing or bending your paper. So you really want to use your paper punch, most likely. And did my holes, took 2 brads, 2 of these, put them in. Now, they're going to sit on this side, like I showed you. This one's going to sit over here, like this, and then this will keep that closed, like that. So it will look like that. So we are going to glue these down. And I want to, when I glue it, make sure I get just over the edge of my tape. That's where my score line and then is, and I want to make sure that I'm not up too far or down too low. I don't really want to get into the spine end of it, so kind of want to get right up. I'm gonna have to add some nail polish remover to my glue here. That's how you thin it out. Capful or 2 of nail polish remover. Alright, want it up a hair and down a hair. Just eyeballing it. Want it in a little bit. Like this. Again, it does have that little bit of a spine. Really, that's just for movement. It's not actually. And then this one, I want to kind of eyeball center of the page, but move it up, kind of like that. All right, so that will get glued in. Hope I'm not forgetting anything. Oh, my goodness. Okay. This will help me decide where I want it. As I move it down. Right about there. I want it a little bit away from the edge. Okay. Okay. Okay, now we have that. Okay, now we're going to decide where we want this. Now that this is in, I can put it right up to it like that. So it will look like that. I can move it away, but I don't want it too far that if this bends, it comes up. So I think I'm just gonna put it all the way in. Just gonna make the call and put it all the way in. Okay, if you noticed, I didn't take my Tyvek all the way up to the edge, and that's because I really do like to try and get glue all the way up to that edge. So for that, on that section, I may just use this kind of glue because it seems like it's getting a little watery. It must be pretty warm in my craft room. But I want to get glue right along that edge. Like that. Yep. And probably this edge. And I don't want that any of the edge lifting, so okay. Then hopefully I can get a little bit of this glue. Okay. Let's not drop it. Okay, so again, I'm just sort of eyeballing where I think I want it without getting glue on it. Okay, gonna move those back, lift that out of the way, push it down. Okay. There we go. Then that lays down on my spine. That goes over and over. And that's how that will look. Now all we need is a piece to cover at least most of the edges or all the edges, whatever we decide. And I thought about using perhaps this. So I can either make it totally fit, which is probably what I'll do. All right. So let's see. Just want to get it and put a mark. If I have to err to the okay, so Then it has to, how did I move it up too far? Because I want to make sure that I get it. I don't want to have it be too tight and cause catching issue. So we'll cut it. Check for my mark. Okay, it's right there. It's right here. I don't know if you can see when I'm cutting this, but that's where I have the mark. That's only one measurement. And I just want to make sure that I'm in. Okay, I'm in. Then I push it all the way up. I guess I only need a hair. Let's try this. And I'll just take off a hair, I guess. See if that's not enough. So I put it like that. Can I round? Yep, I think that will be perfect. I want it inside. I don't want it hanging out the front cover. I want it so that from the front you can see it. It's got to be inside like that. And that really, between all that, really sturdies that up. So I'm going to pull this over so that I can do a little inking. It's actually time for me to put a new felt thing on here. I can hear that I'm scratching the plastic of the Velcro underneath this. Okay. That's grungy enough. Throw away our garbage. Okay. Guess I'll line it up this way. So I'm going to keep the more interesting side. Okay. Around the edges well. See, I just did it again. I was in the habit of doing the center first and working my way out, and now I backtracked. Old habits are hard to break, that's for sure. Okay, make sure I can get it up there. It's supposed to be. Okay, get my Okay. Now all we have to do is decide what we want in it. And that will be for a different day. Whoop. I just wanted to catch up with what I've been moving ahead with. So that's what we have so far. Okay, well, that's enough for now. If you're working along with me or working on your own but using some of the ideas, those were my ideas. I still have to put these in, but I want to wait for the for everything to really dry, and these will go under here like this, and they get glued on. I just want to make sure I have enough room. I don't want them to hit, and I am a little concerned that once I glue them in, that they'll hit. So that's why I didn't glue them down yet. I'm still making up my mind. We'll see when all the glue settles. Okay, there it is. Don't forget to put something in for your pencil. And for me, that's like the easiest way. Kind of looks like a little flip-flop. So, all right. In the meantime, until I'll be back in a day or so. So in the meantime, stay creative and hugs.